Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Leland Baptist. I am one of the private bankers with Lee-Chandler, and today we're going to talk about the basic evaluation of real estate, okay? And believe it or not, you can kind of use some of these components for that of a business, but that's going to be a whole nother video, all right? So let's go ahead and dive right into it. What I have behind me are really just three equations. And to the left, we have our actual scenario, or our deal scenario, okay? So here's the deal. This is a 12-unit apartment complex in which it would be $22,000 as a down payment and all out expense out of pocket, okay? So it would be your down payment as well as any other expenses such as closing costs and so forth, all right? For the simplicity of the basics of evaluation, we're going to say that all that equates to $22,000, okay? Now, we're going to make every unit identical, with it being two bedrooms, one bath, and we're going to say that the rent is going to be $700. Sorry for you guys watching in New York and California, but there are places that I rent for $700 for 2 bedrooms, okay? Now, because of that, our gross rent, which for a business what we would consider to be our gross revenue, is going to be $8,400 per month. All right. Everything right here is going to be, everything in the green to your right is going to be based off on a monthly. Okay. Now, beside here, we have different percentages. I want you to know something. For real estate, normally your percentage to receive your money back, or what your gross profit is going to be somewhere between 40 to 60% on a good, stabilized, or performing asset. Okay, and that's normally a good deal. If it's more than that, fantastic. If it's less than that, be wary, be careful. So for management, we're saying it's going to be 6%. Normally, for an asset this size, a 12-unit, 6% is normally something that's going to be the norm, and that's when we're basing all these numbers off of the gross revenue. Okay. Utilities, we're saying is 20%, but believe it or not, depending on how the building is structured, the utilities can be pretty high or they can be fairly low. One of the things that's important to note when it comes to utilities is that sometimes you can bypass that burden onto the tenant, especially if it's a water bill or electricity bill for the foyer area and so forth. Okay. Then we have taxes. Unless you have tax subsidies or grants, there's no way around it. You are going to pay taxes. 2% is us being conservative. Insurance, 2% as well. The mortgage, we're saying it's going to be 25%. And then repairs, we're saying it's going to be 2%. Okay. So when you add all this up, we have 504, 1680, 168, 168. 2100, and then finally 168. That's going to equate to, if you subtract everything, that means that our cost is going to be $4,788. Okay, so this is actually not our net. This is what our estimated monthly expenses are going to be. So right here, we're actually going to go ahead and find our net income. All right, we're going to take our gross, which is $8,400. We're going to subtract it by $4,788, okay? So our gross income, and subtract our gross income by our total expenses, okay? And that's going to allow us to go ahead and find our net income. Now, a percentage of this is saying that our net income right here compared to total expenses is somewhere between 56 to 57%, okay? Now, based off of this, if we're taking our gross income and our total expenses, then that means that our profit or our cash flow will be $3,612. Keep in mind that certain people, when they're evaluating it, maybe your accountant, maybe if you have a deal that's structured with other individuals involved in it, they may not consider this to be your profit. They may consider this to be a different figure all in all, because what happens sometimes is if you are in a deal with someone else, the members of that deal may structure their income from the deal, or they're living off the deal, to also be part of an expense. Okay, so they may also say that, hey, we also get a 6% fee for being a part of the deal or structuring the deal, that kind of thing. All right, so just keep that in mind. So this number can look different based on how that deal is structured. All right. Okay. So the last thing that we'll look at here is going to be our return on investment. All right. This is the biggest thing that people talk about. Hey, what's going to be the ROI, and so forth. And what we're doing here is we're taking our cash flow, what I consider to be your profit. Okay. And we're going to divide that profit into what your down payment was. And if you recall from the beginning, that your down payment and all the costs, including that, is at $22,000. Okay. So we're going to divide both of these numbers right here. Okay. We're going to put our net profit, what I consider net profit, to be on top of what your investment is. Okay. When you do that, you're going to get 16%. Don't be alarmed. This is saying 16% on a monthly basis. Okay. And to be honest with you, 16% is really good. All right. Normally what happens is that people normally have a return on investment of like 8%, okay, 6%, but 16% is very good. Normally when you have a return that's going to be at 16%, the reason for that is because you're probably the only person in that asset. All right. If you're sharing an asset with others, means that someone did a syndication or a crowdfunding, whatever, with peer-to-peer lending, whatever it is, your return on investment normally is going to be a lot smaller than that, because you're having to give and take with a lot of people, okay? Or you have a syndicator who's taking the majority of the return. And then on an annual basis, keep in mind that your investment amount doesn't change, okay? That's what came out of pocket. But if all goes well, if it's still rented month in, month out, and if all those things still remain true, if the repairs don't change, all that stuff, then we can estimate by multiplying by 12 that this number here will be, as far as your cash flow, will be $43,344 over a year time, okay, over 12 months. And if that's the case, we can divide that then based on your investment of the $22,000, which would then mean that your return on investment so your return on your $22,000 would be 197%. Okay, that's 197%. Now, the beauty with this is that when you speak with your accountant for this 12 unit, you're also going to have a bigger return on investment when it comes to your depreciation and appreciation when it comes time for taxes. You're also going to have a huge benefit when it comes to any insurance and mortgage payments that you made to your particular lender as well. You also receive money back or write-offs for that too. So technically, your return on investment could actually look a lot more hefty than just 197%. All right. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I'll see you guys later.